The loudest XRP calls this week: a leaked price, a $2,000 target, and a crash everybody swears is already here, just got put on a scorecard, and most of them fail the very first row. The facts that anchors the scorecard is simple and dated. XRP briefly lost its support and then snapped straight back, and right now it sits near $1.14 while sentiment reads extreme fear. So before you act on a single one of those viral calls, understand the stakes. The holders jumping into that $1.14 week are selling on the strength of claims that nobody has bothered to grade. By the end, you will know which call survives and the one line that would kill even the survivor. Let me state the rubric up front, because a grade without a standard is just an opinion in a costume. A price claim earns a passing grade only if it names a verifiable source, a mechanism, and a checkable timeframe. A leaked number with a screenshot and no chain of custody fails on source. A round target with no path fails on mechanism. A crash call with no level and no trigger falls on being false. My receipt is the on-chain record and the public flow data. And the verdict I'm holding back is which signal claim clears all three, because it even surprised me. I'm going to be fair before being harsh, because the honest version grants what is real. One of these claims is actually defensible, and I will tell you which up front so you know this is a grade and not a dunk. The read is XRP is setting up for a measured relief rally into July, has real chart structure behind it. We will get into why it passes. First, the ones that fail, because clearing those out is what protects you from your decision. Claim 1, the leak price. They said a real XRP price got leaked, and this is a moment everybody waited for. Run it through the rubric. Source is a screenshot with no exchange, no filing, no signer. The mechanism, none is stated, and there's no time frame. A genuine leak has a paper trail you can follow back to a primary document. The way a real filing names the entity that submitted it and date it with a stamp. Ask yourself who leaked it, from where, and what would happen to them for leaking it. If those questions have no answer, you are not looking at a leak. You are looking at a number somebody typed over a candle. This one has a structure of a rumor dressed as a receipt, and the grade is speculative. And the moment you hear leaked price with no on-chain of custody, you treat it as entertainment, not information. If grading that first claim already changed how you read your feed, tap that like button, subscribe, hit the notification bell, because it tells me to keep going on with the scorecard and these videos, because the next one is the one most people are emotionally attached to. Claim 2, the $2,000 target. This is a call that gets the most clicks and the most belief, so it deserves the most rigor. To even approach that number, XRP's total network value would have to exceed the entire current market value of every cryptocurrency combined on Earth by a wide margin. That is the mechanism problem, and no one shouting the price ever shows the math. Could XRP re-rate hard on the digital commodity reclassification? Yes, and that's the real lever. But a real lever and a specific round number with no path are different things. David Schwartz, Ripple's chief technology officer, the person who actually built the ledger, has spent years pushing back on exactly this kind of magic number talk, precisely because it sets holders up to feel betrayed when the reality moves slower. This grade is speculative on the number, even though the direction has merit. Quick comment check before the next grade. Of the 3 claims, which one are you actually believing this week and why? Tell me in the comments. It tells me who's about to act on the false one and who's actually reading the true receipts. Claim 3, the crash incoming. This is the doom mirror of claim 2, and it fails the rubric the same way. XRP is crashing. Exit now. Names, no level, no trigger, no time frame. A falsifiable bear call sounds like XRP closes back under the $1.14 on rising volume. The structure breaks. That you can check tomorrow against the charts. It's crashing after a week that already reversed. Is narrating fear, not forecasting it. Notice the move. The crash callers waits until the candle is already red, then says it out loud. So they are right. If it keeps falling, and forgotten if it bounces, that is not a forecast. That is a bet with no downside for the person making it, and all the downside for the holder who sells on it. And here is the catch I owe you, because the doom callers are not entirely empty. Extreme fear is a real condition. The $1.14 break was real, and a second leg down is genuinely possible. The honest problem is that the crash claim takes a real risk and strips it of the one thing that would make it useful, a level you can can act on. So I grade this speculative with a real risk buried inside that the claim itself refuses to define. Subscribe, tap the notification bell, and like the video, and I'll grade the loudest XRP calls against the record every time the feed floods like this. Plan against the hype, because the next one of these is the floor vote grade, and you want it the day that it lands. Now set the 3 grades next to the one that passes, because together they say something none says alone. The leaked price fails on a source. The $2,000 target fails on mechanism. The crash calls fails on falsifiability, and the relief rally read passes all 3. Its source is a visible chart structure. Its mechanism is the rebound off reclaimed support paired with the same institutional capital that's moved in. Roughly 1.44 billion through the spot ETFs, 1.7 billion through RLUSD across 40 plus networks, and its time frame is checkable. The move plays out into July or it does not. That is the difference between a claim that survives a real grade and a claim that survives a loud headline. So, which row do you believe? If you think I graded one of these wrong, tell me exactly which row and why. Best counter argument gets pinned in the comments section, and I'll answer it on camera in the next video, because the point here is the rubric, not my ego. Here is the verdict, the thing I went in skeptical about and came out sure of. The 3 loudest XRP claims this week are speculative, and the only call that survives an honest grade is the quiet one almost nobody is shouting. That matters in a way that really stings. The holders selling the $1.14 wick are acting on the calls that failed, and the people who actually read the surviving claim are the ones standing on the other side of that sell. You can be completely right that XRP carries real risk here and still hand your position to somebody who graded the claims while you reacted to them. The loudest voice in your feed is not the most graded one. It is just the loudest. Don't forget to send this to one XRP holder about to act on the loudest claim, and send this to one person who swears XRP is already dead, and let them argue with the scorecard instead of me. If you take one action from this, it's not buying or selling on my grade. It's demanding a source, a mechanism, and a time frame from every claim before you let it move your bag, the same rubric I just used. Links below if you want to trade on WEEX, my favorite crypto exchange, and you will get a major sign-up bonus. The verdict holds, the leaked price, the $2,000 target, and the crash call, all speculative. The measured relief rally read is the defensible one. The single line that would kill even the survivor is the daily close, back under the $1.14 on rising volume. If that prints, I will grade my own call false first. If you want the floor vote grade the day that the catalyst actually moves, like, subscribe, and tap that notification bell. I'll see you in the next video.